Miss Nichols.
Hey, Miss Nix, how are you?
I am very well, thank you. I am in not very sunny UK with nice sort of clouds that look very pretty and about 19-degree weather. I'm not jealous at all of where you are, which is.
Well, we've even got blue walls here.
That's just showing off.
Blue sky, blue sea, blue walls. The colour is blue. There you go. No, I mean, actually, in fairness, when I turned up about 3 days ago now, it was very, very humid, really humid. And I was like, where's the thunderstorm? Because, you just need a thunderstorm to break everything. No thunderstorm, but eventually it's gone away. And it's been amazing the last 2 days, actually. So it must be 4 days ago. But on the way down here, I am not kidding you. The last night we had in France, in a beautiful place, which I have posted on Twitter and that, but we had 45 minutes in the middle of the night, 45 minutes non-stop, thunder, lightning, thunder, lightning, thunder, lightning. It was like a firework display. Absolutely torrential rain during the night. It was you couldn't sleep. It was absolutely amazing. Well, the kids slept. I mean, sleep through bombs, those two. But I mean, I couldn't sleep. Moo couldn't sleep, and we were just literally. It was just incredible. And the next day,
was it sheet lightning or fork lightning?
It was both. They were both going on, sheet, fork, and thunder and rain all simultaneously. And I've never come across that before. Not for that. I've had it like 2 flashes of thunder in the UK with the lightning at the same time. So that storm is right overhead, right? That's the way it kind of works. So we had that period of like, I count 9 beats, 7 beats. It's 9 miles away, 7 miles away, and anyway, 45 minutes.
Is that true? Is that true?
I don't know.
Is it one of those things like your mum tells you, like it's like, if you play with yourself, you're going to go blind, lightning, count how many seconds it's so many miles away. So they say, this is why I can't see you. What? Who's that? Who are you? So, or is that like it feels like a wives' tale. It feels like a wives' tale.
It could be, because it could be kilometres over here, couldn't it, really? So, yeah. Anyway. But and the next day we headed off down to get to the ferry, and we spent an hour driving through a storm and through torrential rain. I mean, we couldn't go above 20 kilometres an hour. It was absolutely horrendous.
Wow.
So, yeah, but anyway, welcome to France. Hey, bonne journée, or bonne nuit, or happy days.
Why does your French accent sound a little bit Italian?
Really?
Bonjour.
Hey, you know why? Because this is Corsica. Corsica is a little Italian.
This is Corsica. It is in the middle of the France and the Italy. Sorry to all of those French people and Italian people that might be tuning in. I don't mean to be offensive. I'm just
not at all. No, I don't take offence. And I live here now, so actually.
Oh yes. So what does that make you? Like a UK
an alien?
Or
yeah, definitely an alien.
You've been one of those a long time. I mean, the jury's out on that anyway.
Oh well, gosh, no. I mean, I don't know what that makes me. Look, French is fun. It's good to learn. We're learning. Slowly, catchy monkey. Especially with my adult brain, it's bringing back some of the old school French, though. I remember doing that. Yeah,
excellent. Haven't they got those apps now, though, that you can just kind of type in what you want to? Obviously, you have to do it like that on the phone rather than the palm of your hand. But like you type it in, and then you just hold it up and press play. Yeah. And then it works. I think that's fantastic. I think they're very rude. Obviously, if you're going to live in a country, you really need to learn.
Yeah, no, they're great. Duolingo. Anyone wanting to learn a language of any kind, Duolingo is absolutely amazing. Very, very clever. Very well done.
Is that like an affiliate link? Do you get?
No, get nothing back off that. No. It is really good. We're all doing it, and no, it's very cleverly done, because it's got different ways of presenting information and words and phrases and stuff, and it's very user friendly. Anyone who's done it, if you've used it, let us know, because it really is a super app. And kids level, my level, anybody's level, upwards as high as you can go.
I think you should say kids level, my level, anywhere upwards.
Yeah, anywhere from ground zero, you're in. Yeah. So
cool. Excellent. Okay, anyway, so today we're talking friendship, and we have the wonderful Rach Byrne who will be joining us in our super rainbow, super coloured flagged room at some point this evening, and then we shall invite her in and
all the way from Australia.
Yes. Do you know it is now? What time is it? It's like 5:05 in the morning over there.
Is it? Good
I thought there were 12 hours in front, so I thought 8 o'clock in the morning. People should be up by then. It's not. Yeah. It's 5 o'clock. Yeah. So this is dedication. When Rachel joins us, this is dedication to the literary word. It's very
definitely impressive. Same here, because I would normally be in bed by now. So yeah, I'm in that as well.
Who's your second author?
Who's our second author? Oh, naughty assistant in the wings here. We haven't got a second author tonight.
No.
Due to some scheduling issues that we had earlier, our second author is unable to join us, and actually wasn't an author anyway. They are an illustrator, an artiste, who does fabulous illustrations and drawings. But we're hoping for KC to join us on another day. So thank you, rude assistant in the background, who now I'm getting the evil eye. I'm going to get in trouble for that later. Thank you very much.
So that means we get more time to chat and more time to have comments from audience and audience participation. So
yes, excellent.
Awesome.
So speaking of audience participation, let's maybe kick off with a question for them, and then we'll start spitballing. Who's your best friend, and how long have they been your best friend? That's our question for you peoples. And then I'm going to ask you that, and obviously if you don't say me, I'm going to be utterly wondered.
So my best friend.
Yeah.
It's going to be quick, this, isn't it? I don't have one. This is a bit like a memory issue that I, can't remember who they were.
Well, you probably do have one, and they're out there somewhere thinking, I'm sure
thinking,
Emma was going to call me.
I struggle with this. I'm sorry, kiddos. Honestly, I feel really pathetic. I don't have anyone from school, from high school, from university. I met up with 3 friends of mine from the army, and I left the army in 1998. Okay. Mm-hmm. And 3 friends I met. We haven't seen each other for 11 years. I probably regard those 3 people as friends who we may not have spoken for 11 years, but actually we picked up like there was no time space whatsoever. It's a really bizarre thing, and I know people experience friendships differently, and and I think we probably have to talk about expectations when we talk about friendships, because they do vary tremendously,
massively.
I mean, it's just so I don't have anyone like that who I've been close to for a very long time at all. Not at all. And it's interesting because even family, you go, well, are family friends? Do you have a friendship with family, with siblings, with mums, with dads? Some people do. I think they're slightly different relationship, and it's not necessarily for me about the depth of that relationship or the quality of that relationship. It's just the fact that it's different. So what about you? Come on, you definitely, you're that kind of girl, aren't you? You've got friends everywhere.
Excuse me.
In every port. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I thought we were talking about friends.
Yeah.
Also, wife is next door listening to this, so
Oh yeah.
To be fair, though, she does know my wild and checkered past. So best not to have any secrets.
Was that a shepherd? Sheep? No, shepherd. Yeah. No, checkered.
I'm not saying about any flock following. No. Anywho, so let me see. I suppose my best friend is somebody from school. My buddy, she works at the FA. She's a super high flying, fabulous female woman person in the FA in a very male dominated area, and we've been friends since probably we were both kind of 13, 14 in early years of secondary school.
Mm-hmm.
And very much the same as your buddies in the army. We cannot speak or not see each other for months or COVID, 2 years or so, and we'll meet up, and it was like we were talking, yesterday, which is really good. But I think I was doing some research. Would you like to hear my research?
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Excellent. So apparently nowadays, in this decade, the average person has 2 best friends, but 25 years ago, that was 3 best friends.
Wow.
So interesting. And my dad always said, you know, you're lucky if you can count your friends on one hand, i.e. you're lucky if you've got 5 friends. Because I think a lot of people have colleagues and acquaintances and people they maybe spend some time with, but real friends, like you say, it differs for everybody. But to me, like a best friend is somebody, you know, that if something shitey happens at 2 o'clock in the morning, you know, you can call them and they'll pick up and then they'll be there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
See, I read some.
Go on. No, carry on.
No, I mean, I read something else today. And again, you have to be really careful with the internet, I think, because I read something that said that actually the average is about 150 friends. And I'm like, fucking hell, seriously? Who can manage 150 friends? I mean, how do you do that? How do you, I don't, that blew my head. And I'm going, now, and also, you know, as I said, back to expectations, that all of a sudden I feel really inferior, which, you know, I might have a right to be, because really, I you know, you probably, you know, might fit into one of those 2 friends that I now have. You know? But it, like, if you think the pressure of having to have a number of friends in order to fit into, like, I'm the normal person in society, that is an extreme amount of pressure. And I would say, I'm with you, like, it's a very small number of people who you absolutely trust, who you can rely on. You don't need to interact with them every day, and you don't need to kind of, you know, there's no, I struggle a little bit, I have to confess, with this neediness kind of thing if it goes on within friendships. I mean, I'm sorry, guys.
You want me to call you how often?
Yeah, like, whoa.
You want coffee again?
No, I'll be there for you.
I only saw you 5 weeks ago.
11 years ago? What are you talking about?
God, you're so needy.
I am a bit of an oddball, because I've also read stuff about if you're a little bit on the spectrum, that actually friendships are difficult, and they are. You know, they can be. And my son's a little bit on the spectrum as well, and he kind of has struggled with kind of understanding how those social mechanisms work. And I think that's also, you know, it's important. It just doesn't mean you don't have friends, but forming those friendships, understanding the rules of engagement, if we would call it in the military, the rules of engagement in friendships is actually, I think, quite challenging. I find it challenging.
That's interesting that you've drawn that comparison to, like, having a friendship to having a battle with somebody. Rules of engagement. Right then, let's sort this friendship stuff out. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to call you once, maybe every decade, and you're not going to be needy about it.
Okay. Okay, that's cool. Pressure off.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd be really interested to know what some of the audience think, because it is such a very strange thing to me, and I have to confess, friendship is a very strange thing. And I also wonder whether sometimes, you know, if we get into a relationship, whether we talk about friends to lovers in a trope in writing romance, which a lot of people love, and there must be a reason for that, is because that friendship, that level of connection you get in a friendship, can be very, very strong and very powerful without having that kind of, I don't know, the other bits that sometimes go with things not working so well. You know, there's almost a.
I have some research to back that lovely little segue up. I like it. Awesome. Segue is my favourite word of the show. Obviously, I use it quite a lot.
You're the artist.
Slight aside, Dor, her best friend, she has known for over 50 years. So that's very impressive, and a very lengthy relationship. I like it.
That's brilliant.
But what you're saying about that friendship and then the moving through to lovers, I saw some research that basically said that a friendship between partners is 5 times, and I don't know how they work this out, but 5 times more important than sexual intimacy in partners.
I agree.
I wonder how they work that out. Like, how does
I don't care. It supports my theory, so I'm happy with it. I agree with that. There's something about a friendship where I think it's because within the friendship, a very strong friendship, there's a level of acceptance that is sometimes absent in a very strong sexual relationship. because the dynamics of a sexual relationship are very different from the dynamics of a friendship by the very nature of it. Now, it doesn't mean you can't have both together, but you have to ask the question, which one comes first? And I don't know the answer to that. So anybody
And I
who's experienced that?
suppose I'd be interested, because I saw that there was MIT, which I associate with engineering and sort of electrical, mechanical excellence. But MIT and Tel Aviv did some research that said only half of your friends reciprocate your feelings. So Bray said, when I found this, I was like researching and I was, oh, did you know? And she was like, well, I've only got 2 friends, so that means one doesn't like me. In very similar, way to you. That
yeah. So you're better off not having any, because you've not really lost very much, have you?
No, absolutely.
If you only
Nancy,
2.
Yeah, you're pretty screwed, sort of. Nancy has a handful of on-call friends. So like we said, people you can fully rely on. And so does Jill, who is there watching. So that's interesting.
And also, I saw something else today when I was having a look at it, is actually we don't need friendships. Now, I find that really interesting because there's also a lot of evidence to show that we do, but it's not.
Yes.
It's not necessary that we need friendships. We need some form of social interaction, and that social interaction does not need to be a friendship. It needs to just be a level of interaction so that you can kind of appreciate that you exist in this world, that you have people around you, not necessarily in the context of friendships. And I find that really interesting because there's also stuff that says actually our mental health is also affected by a lack of friendship. So I suppose it depends on your own personal view as to whether you feel you need those or not, because I think it's in that if you feel that you need them and you don't have them, then of course it's going to affect your mental health. Whereas if you don't feel you need them and you don't have them, it's not going to affect anything, is it?
Well, it's interesting you say about that mental health. I saw some stuff that was about the physical health. So it said that women are twice as likely to suffer or have breast cancer if they don't have friends than women with friends.
Wow.
And something like 66% more likely to suffer from illnesses for those without friends than with friends. And then older people are more likely to suffer from chronic illnesses if they see their friends as a burden rather than as a support group. I thought, how does that work? Is that something, because for it to manifest physically, that's really strange. And is that loneliness? It just shows you how powerful the brain actually is.
Yeah, that mind-body connection, absolutely massive, without a doubt. So if it affects your mind, it affects your body. Absolutely no question in my mind, having done a lot of work in this area. Absolutely no question about it, that we see a manifestation of our psychology through our physical symptoms. So yeah, I can totally see that. I think it's back to what your personal needs are, and if you need that, then it's important that you have it, and if you don't, then it doesn't matter. So there's no one simple answer.
And how are you supposed to know, do you think, whether or not you're a person that needs friends? And do you realize that early on enough in life to establish this gigantic, but like you said, we've got like 2 or 3 people that the average person has as a best friend, then a friendship group of 150, because apparently the human brain averages, we can only remember 1,500 names and faces, so you can only have 1,500 friends.
How many?
Anyway. 1,500.
God, no, you're serious?
Not
1,500?
Yeah, but
15.
But how are you supposed to know? And does that require a level of self-awareness? Do you realize that in your 20s and start like scrambling around and pulling these people in and say, right now, you be my friend?
Yeah, no, I don't know. It's a good question. And because this whole idea of friendships is formed, it's formed from like very, very young. And the way that kids play is their way of forming relationships. The sharing of toys, for example, as a small child is the first kind of indicators of friendship, and then that changes, it evolves into communication, into and sharing ideas, sharing thoughts, sharing emotions, sharing experiences, and then relying on support for each other. So I guess it's there's an element of conditioning to it, because different people conditioned in different environments will have a different appreciation and a different kind of need in that sense. And I suspect there's also an element of what other needs are actually more important than friendship, because for some people in this world, the physical kind of security needs are actually higher than friendship, because it's almost up there. If you look at Maslow's hierarchy, it's almost up there in the altruistic kind of side of it. So aside from the security of family and the stability of that, so it's not so easy.
If that's the case, then what? And you're saying that you kind of learn that behavior. Did the family that you grew up around, did they not have a big circle of friends? Did they not go out?
No. And I always remember being on the outside looking in. Always, still am on the outside looking in. I don't do, for all the kind of engagement stuff that I've had to do with it, being in training and being in the military and being essentially putting forward an extrovert side of my character. It's not natural for me, and I actually prefer to be away from people for a lot of the time. I love everybody, don't get me wrong, out there, you lovely people who I engage with every day on Twitter and wherever in my life. I like that. It's nice to know that actually what I'm doing is being received by people. It's more of that kind of feedback as well, and they have become a friendship group within my circle, and that's lovely, because I've never had that before. But I do struggle with anything that involves too much kind of pressure of feeling like I have to communicate all the time, or I have to engage every day. It feels very hard for me personally.
And would you put that down to your position on the spectrum, or socialization, a mixture of the two? This is a very
I suspect it started with being maybe a little bit on the spectrum. I've never been diagnosed. It's not a major thing at all, but I've never been someone naturally inclined to be involved with groups. I don't know whether I was exposed to something as a child, in a group, of being shunned by a group of kids or something, because I guess that can happen, and you go, whoa, hang on, that hurts, so I'm not going to go back to that again, and you withdraw. I don't know. If it was, I don't remember it, so I can't qualify that in any way. But but equally, it's not something I've missed terribly. It's not like I crave to be in a group, involved, and I'm not. It's not like that at all for me. It's like, actually, I'm quite happy in my own world in that sense. And okay. I see it, as I say, I see it with Christian as well. He's very much kind of struggles with the rules of social engagement.
So I see we've got Rach in our multi-flagged womb, waiting to be admitted. So shall we admit Rach and talk about friendships in books?
Yeah, definitely.
Excellent. So come on in, Rach. There she is.
All right.
Looking fabulous in the new spectacles. I'm liking those. It's very Jackie Onassis. Hello.
Hey, how we doing?
Hi.
Good morning.
Yeah, wakey, rise and shine.
I know.
5:25. I'm
so
sorry.
A lot to be up at this time.
Thank you. We're honoured.
Not a lot of people get me out my bed early.
So
you're a very Australian
friendship. Oh, go on.
I'm in Australia. Yes.
Yeah, you haven't met Rachel. We have a very interesting Australian accent.
Yeah, it's beautiful, right? It's so Aussie. It's really funny. When I first came here, I obviously Scottish people, we talk really fast, and no one could understand what I was saying, like nobody. And I learned very quickly how to talk like a lot slower, and so people could know what I was trying to say. And I called my mum up like first maybe 3 or 4 weeks that I was here, and I'm on the phone to her and I said, yeah, I'm just chatting. She went, can you talk a little faster? This call's costing me a fortune. It's like, okay, sorry.
So you run like slow-mo. Wind you up, Rach. Wind you up.
Yeah, exactly. And when I'm home, and then I come back here, I'm fast again, and I have to learn to stop it because nobody can understand me.
Well, that pace you're going at right now, I can grasp. When you first
Okay.
started talking this evening, I was like, whoa, hang on, this is really quick. So
I feel like that might be something to do with you being your age and being a slightly deaf, as opposed to anything that Rachel's.
I
mean, you can say that, I won't.
Exactly. I'm a bestie, so she doesn't know it because she doesn't reciprocate my feelings.
She's one of those besties. Oh, yeah.
We I have on the Rainbow Literary Society, my bestie Sarah's on there, and she's a wee bit older than me, and we have this running joke currently that I sent her like information to aged care homes around the area that I live in, and it's become quite a thing. I actually said to her the other day, I was like, I'm joking, right? Like, this is like, I'm not offending you. And she was like, no. I was like, thank God.
How much older than you is she then?
Sorry?
How much older than you is she? Am I talking too slow?
You're talking too slow and I'm talking too fast.
How much older than she is she?
She's about 20 years, I think, older than me. I say that, but it's her birthday next week. So yeah, I think it's like 20 something years. Yeah.
Okay. So how did that friendship come about then? Because that's
You.
quite unusual. Me?
You.
Excellent.
A good couple of years ago, you and I were talking about you possibly coming out to Australia at some point. And I'd said, we should do like an event or something. And you said, you know what? There's a woman on Twitter that's actually trying to do something like that just now. I was like, really? And I engaged with, you told me who it was, and I engaged with Sarah, and we've become really, really close. We talk probably every second day on the phone, and obviously I've merged Les Revere with Rainbow Literary Society recently, so it's just one entity now, and Sarah's who manages all that. We've we really hit it off, and it's really good to have someone in the community, even though she's in Sydney, kind of closer by. It's really cool.
Apparently your bestie says there's a 25-year age gap.
There you go. I knew it was 20 something. I don't want to say that.
I feel like there's a story in there, your 25-year age gap. I'd say bromance. What's the female or the women version of that? If it's not bromance. We can say bromance.
I'm okay with that.
Excellent. Yeah. Okay. So we're like a 25-year-old age gap bromance. There's a book in that, I feel.
Yeah,
get
maybe.
To write in, Rach. As soon as you've finished on this call, before you get to work, you've got a couple of hours. Get a short story
out. It. Yeah. Another submission for you soon, right?
Yes, please. Yeah. Oh, that was very good. I'll just do a quick plug of that. So I am publishing the 3rd volume of Les Fic Eclectic, and I have. Oh, hello. There's HR. Hello. Just over there, you can see volumes 1 and 2. Of which you were in volume 1, weren't you, Rach? And
I was in volume 1.
Volumes 1 and 2. So I'm looking for submissions for volume 3 of that. So anybody out there interested that is new author or has only just published or is desperate to publish, drop me a line at lesfic.eclectic@butterworthbooks.co.uk and write me a story and let's get you published. Thank you, Rach. Very good. So maybe you want to talk a little bit about the Rainbow Literary Readers community and what you're kind of trying to achieve with that.
Yeah, so honestly, the Rainbow Literary Society was always the events kind of side of in Australia, because we've not got much going on here at all. In actual fact, there was nothing going on until Sarah decided to do something. But I kind of felt like there's a lot of more room for when we merged together, what I bring in subscribers and people knowing who I am and what I do versus not many people knowing about Rainbow Literary Society. And by merging them together, we're kind of bringing both the great part of the events that I really wasn't doing anything with that Sarah does, and then all the community that's already there together, and hopefully we'll be able to get more people, more bums on seats, as Sarah says. That's her favourite thing to say, more bums on seats at our events. And also we're hoping to travel a wee bit, so it's not going to just be Australia. we're kind of tackling that just now during COVID because we can't go anywhere. But we're hoping to be a more international thing in the long run. That's the plan anyway. But yeah, so it's been really fun so far, and it also takes the pressure off me a little bit. I'm ready to kind of just like review some books sometimes and do some graphics and edit some videos and do things like that. I don't want to be so like immersed in it all the time. As you all probably know, I have a young son. He's only 5, and he's 6. He's 6.
Oh, bad mom.
Oh, gotta get that right. God.
I don't know. You don't know the
and
age of your best friend. You don't know the age of your son. I mean, what's going on here?
it's because all these books that I'm reading, right? I'm not living in the real world currently.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, so with Rory, he's at school now. I want to be with him when he's at home. I want to be doing stuff with him. So this seemed like a great opportunity to get some other people doing things that normally I would do. So it's actually working really well. There's like lots of reasons for it, but so far it's working much better than it was before.
Excellent.
Yeah.
You've been very quiet down there, Em. You want to...
Sorry, I lost connection a little bit, I think, a little bit through that, but pull you up at the end. So I don't know if we've talked about friendships, Rach.
No, not yet.
Yeah, so you've obviously sparked up a friendship with someone very, very quickly as well, which, you know, there's levels, isn't there? Sort of from like stranger through to, you know, first level friendship, kind of acquaintance. Yeah. And I suppose it can, you know, if we talk about instant attraction in books as well, then, and, you know, this instant friendship that we can form, surely that process can happen quite quickly, can't it?
Well, it can, yeah. I mean, take another friendship, for example, I'm sure you all know who Sandy Lowe is. Sandy and I became friends on the interwebs. And long story short, she was coming to Sydney. I was going to be up there for work. We caught up and instant friendship. Realised that the two of us had so much in common, and we talk all the time. Actually, we were on a Zoom chat yesterday, but today for you, having a chat and catching up, see what was happening. And I feel like that is maybe something in this community I love quite a lot, is the friendship aspect of it. Mm-hmm. Like so many people have said, oh, I've met my best friend through a love of a book that we both shared, or they were on like a community group and they caught up over something and the next minute they're friends. Like I think books are a great way to start a friendship and find things that we've got in common. And for me, that's happened quite a few times. I've actually got quite a few friends now in this community, and it's all been through the books.
So we were talking about friendships earlier and saying like the average is kind of like 2 friends, actual friends. Are you one of those people that has a lot more friends? Because we, you know, different people have a different relationship to friendship.
It's very different for me though.
Yeah.
I live in a country where I've got no family, so my friends are my family. So, for example, I moved to a little coastal town last year. Because my 2 best friends, one lives in the suburb over and the other one lives in this suburb. So we moved for family, but they're really our friends. So I think I see it probably a little bit differently, because I've realised that your chosen family is just as important as your actual family, and they're my friends. So for me, I mean, I'm sure Nick, with Victoria, she would be the same. Like coming over from another country, you meet people, you gel with them in a way that you probably wouldn't gel with them normally. And I think those friendships become more important. So see, when they annoy you or they piss you off or whatever, you want to make sure that you maintain it a little bit better because it's more important.
It's like the expat community, effectively.
Yeah. We actually we have Orphans Christmas where we all have Christmas dinner together, and like for example, one of my friends was coming late from Melbourne one night and she's like, I need you to pick up Emily, and I went and picked up her daughter, and that's just what happens. And I think it is much more important for me than because of that.
It's creating that sense of...
When did you move over to Australia?
In 2010.
So that's 10 years, and you're not very old, are you? Bless you. So
no,
what was
I'm
your kind of
fine.
friendship status before that? You know, did you have a lot of friends?
I probably
when you were
had
in
about
Scotland?
three friends that I was very close to. So it was
And
different.
have you kept in touch with those?
Yes. Yeah. Actually, two of them were my bridesmaids at my wedding. So yes, they yeah, I've been very lucky with friendships over my whole life, I think. Like I've not really had any terrible friendships. I think I'm still friends with them. Well, one in particular I've been friends with since I was 5.
Wow.
Really close, yeah. And she still lives in Scotland. So we went to school together. I think friendships are really important. I made a joke the other day that friendships are just as important as your therapist, because like you can't maybe get your therapist on the line all the time, but you can always get your friends, right? So
Yeah.
I think it's really, really important to maintain that. And I think it's a growing thing as well. Like in the community, there's like you're saying, Emma, there's levels of friendship. There's online friendships, there's in your face friendships, there's so many levels of that. And I have been very lucky.
What about friendships in books? Because you obviously do a lot of reading
Lots of reading.
within the genre, and this the friends to lovers I think is quite a popular trope.
It is very popular. Yeah, actually, I just finished one recently. Monica McCallan just wrote one, and
What do you
it
think
was a
that
friends to lovers. And
yeah, what do you think it is about the friends to lover concept that we like so much?
but did we not all have crushes on our best friends at school? Is that not all? Was that the only one? Well,
No.
that's gonna be right. No,
I
I think that's probably where it stems from. I think that when I was heavily in the closet, I say heavily, I was in the closet, but when I was in the closet and I had crushes on a few of my friends, yeah, I think that's probably where it comes from. We're all living back in high school hoping that we're going to fall in love with our bestie.
Yeah. Do you think, I'd like to know if there's any research out there to sort of compare people that just fall in love, not just people that fall in love and have long-term relationships, and then people that have long-term friendships that then turn into relationships. I'd be interested to know whether they compare in longevity or intensity, whether you tend to.
I think if you're going to fall in love with someone that's your friend already, you already know the crap, right? You know all the stuff. You know the painful bits and the bits that you don't really want to know about. Like you know it all. So I think if you fall in love with your friend, you're pretty good to go. Like that personally, I think so.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's got legs, that one, without a doubt. Yeah. Whereas the other way around, not so much. I think the tolerance levels get lower quicker.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, but I also like in books when authors create a friendship group and then create romances off of the group. Melissa Braden's very good for that. The Soho romances, for example. I think that actually is really good as well. I enjoy reading a friendship. It doesn't need to be romantic. I would still want the romance part, but yeah, I'm not always, if there's a friend and I think a lot of secondary characters, if you do a friend really good, when I review a lot of the time, I'll say, oh, this secondary character made the book for me. There's been quite a few books that's been the case. So I don't think it needs to be a friendship in a book that's a romance. It can be like just a normal friendship, and there's been books that I have given an extra star for because of the friendship in the book, because it's just so good. It opens the character up, you find more detail about them.
Makes it relatable.
I like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. And I think we tell our friends things that we probably wouldn't tell people that we're dating. So like there's been books where maybe they're quite closed off and I go, I don't really know much about them, and then they have one conversation with a friend and it just opens up a whole other facet of their personality. I need to let the dog out. Can you just wait 1 second? She's about to bark and I don't want that to be the case.
No problem. I think maybe we'll take that little pause to queue up Rachel's Chatterball Challenge lap, shall we?
Yes.
So I am now in possession Bear with me 1 second. You go away 1 second. I am now in possession of what you were, what's the word? Competing for. These fabulous, there are 2 of them, but I've only got one downstairs. These fabulous bookends. Or, and I do like this, the wooden spoon.
Love that.
Loser. That's very cool.
I've just passed my driving test, and all the rules that I have been trying to keep in my head had to go out the window for this. So I was it was quite a stressful thing. I was like, I'm going to cry.
It was funny though, because you said, "Oh, I'm being so naughty." So I'm just going to cue that up, and we'll share that now. So here, for your viewing pleasure, is Rachel's Chatterball Challenge lap. Boink.
And drift.
Oh.
See?
Okay,
400. Okay. Let's go fast and see if we can get up to 400. Oh. Poor little car. This is what happens when you just pass your test. I literally just passed my test last week, and I am being told to do naughty things with this car.
That has to be the longest backwards drift we've had. I feel like you should have extra points for that.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
No, that's
I'll take them.
That might get you a coaster instead of the spoon.
Full circle.
I drive in the dark, people, because clearly. So. It also felt very appropriate because it was 1 o'clock in the morning when I did this, and it was dark, and the actual screen. I don't like driving in the dark. So, as people maybe saw with that, you got a very reasonable score of 12 points. Was that reasonable?
Sorry, it is. It's not the bottom score. I'm going to share with you. I will share with you the scores pre your lap, which were here. So we had Evie Bancroft destroying the competition, really.
Wow.
In first with 6,934, which was most impressive. And then you have gone on to, bear with while I scrumble it back up. Doink. There we go. And there you are in 6th place. See, very reasonable. Not bad at all. Much better than bless her, Valden and her wife on 374. So
well, I can hold my head up high to Rory now because he wanted to know where I'd be in the leaderboard. So I can hold my head up high knowing that I'm not last.
I was hoping that you were gonna have Rory with you so he could be going, "Oh, Mom, what are you doing? Go faster."
Well, it was the plan until, as you know, you were like, "Have you done this yet?" And I was like, "Oh, no, I haven't. I'll do it now." But he's a Mario Kart star, my son. So it would have been a lot of pressure if Rory had been in the room with me, I think.
Maybe you could have just had him second you. You've got Valden who did it with her wife. You've got AJ Mason who did it with her partner Lee. So we would have been okay if you'd have just done the narration. How would we have known?
Would it have been cheating if he
doing the
done it
tippy
and I stood behind him?
No, anything goes. Anything goes. I mean,
absolutely.
I think some people have swapped over, actually. In fairness, so you can get him to do a lap for us and send it in. We'll stick him on the chart.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Definitely.
He can join the happy club.
Yeah. Oh, I like that, the happy club.
Yeah.
Cool.
Good.
Awesome.
So, talking of children and friendships, I was talking about my son who's just turned 8 actually, so he's similar, a little bit older. And do you notice how he forms friendships and how they're different from how they're evolving as he gets a little bit older?
Yeah, actually I can. Rory was really shy in the beginning, and a lot of the friendships he had the people he was really close to were from the mothers group that I was in. Because they put you in this group of women all with babies, and we all sit there looking at each other like, why are we here? Like, this is horrible. But 3 of the women there I became really close friends with, and Rory became friends with their kids, and it was great. But Rory, Rory wasn't in daycare until he was 3. So most of the friendships he made were just people that were in his life already. So when he went to daycare, it took for a little girl, Kira, who was very enthusiastic to be friends with Rory, for Rory to be like, oh, okay, let's be friends, right? Okay, fine. And they're still very close friends. But we've moved out here now, and I was a bit worried about how he was going to make friends in a new community. I didn't really know anybody apart from our friend's daughter Emily, who is a year younger than him, so wouldn't be in school with him. So I was a little bit nervous about it. And he just took to it. Like, he's got a bunch of friends now. He's never really had friends that were boys before, and all of a sudden our next door neighbour has a little boy who's in the same class as Rory, and it's all these friends that are boys now. So he's got like this really mixed group that you never really had before. So he's shocked me a little bit in the last maybe 18 months, because he went from painfully shy to like getting to the park and hiding behind me to will run up to people now and go, hi, I'm Rory, let's play. And he just goes off. And it's just amazing.
Have you noticed a difference in his behaviour then since he started having boys as friends over girls?
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I wouldn't lie.
Is it a good? Is it a good change?
Yeah, it's changed. It's definitely changed. I mean, I think actually it's been good for him. It's been really good for Rory's confidence. Yeah. And he's a clever cookie as well. So there's been situations where had to give them into trouble for something, and I've gone, that's my son, he's behind that. He's too clever not to have known that was not okay.
Yeah.
But I kind of like it. I want him to have a little bit of angst, a little bit of pushback. I've actually wanted that since he was born, because he didn't have that integration until later on. So to see it, there's been times where I've had to give him into trouble and then walk away and laugh and go, oh, thank God, like he's not just like cowering in the corner somewhere. So, but yeah, it's different. It's definitely different. Like as I've got older as well, boys like can be quite like, they talk about things I don't really want to talk about, like boy stuff. And I always was like, oh, it doesn't matter if he's a boy or a girl, we're going to have like gender neutral toys. We had like everything in our house was really inclusive and diverse, because that's what I'm into. It's part of my 4 key ingredients, right? Inclusion and diversity are really important to me. So things like the toys in our house are like really, like they go from dolls to like cars, and like there's nothing that's like that he wouldn't be allowed to have. But I've noticed recently he has went and he's more interested in what would be a boy toy, like a cars and like Transformers and things like that as he's got older. Which kind of upsets me, because I like when we used to have like dolls and things and we would play about those kind of things together, but he's really went off and started playing with it, and it's been really good because the boys that he's now friends with have all been playing with these things from the get-go. So it's something that they can talk about and it'd be like a shared interest.
Yeah,
it's really tricky that, because we had the same attitude here as well, as to give a whole breadth of stuff, but Christian is definitely veers towards would be perceived as a very masculine kind of toy, without any, and he tries hard. This is a kid at like 3 would put on his sister's fancy dress, Anna and Elsa outfit, and it's like it wouldn't even bother him. But there's something that goes on, and again, the social pressure, stereotypical behaviour. Is just hasn't allowed him to do that.
What I love about the shops that we shop in here in Australia, even the boys and girls section, they've taken the signs away. So there's no technical, brilliant. There's no like this is a boys bit, and because Rory, he was a preemie baby, so he's like really slight, he's small, he's really narrow, so he's 6 and he's wearing size 3 shorts, and because he's so small. Yeah, right. He's tall but like tiny. When it comes to pants, I need to buy pants with drawstrings so I can like tie them up, like so they don't fall down. So there was a time where I had to go into like what was the girls section and buy like leggings for him or like joggy pants that wear a little bit like tighter. Because I don't really see gender when I shop. I've never done that. I think if I see something in the guys section that I want to wear, I'm going to wear it. If I see something in the girls section I want to wear, I'm going to wear it. I don't really care. And I wanted that for him, but he now is allowed to choose a lot of his own stuff, and he again veers to what would be like masculine clothes. So,
and that it seems that that's potentially something to do with the fact that he's now got a lot more male friends.
Yeah,
or,
no, I don't
friends
think
who are
so.
boys.
Actually, I think it's more society in general. You watch a movie and a boy is wearing what would be boy clothes. You don't really see diverse characters going to the shops and buying.
Don't you think that like the Disney movies seem to be moving away from that,
Yes.
particularly with females? I mean, I don't know if you've seen Raya and the Last Dragon and Mulan.
Love it.
I mean, they're fantastic. Obviously, she dresses as a boy to be able to go and be a warrior. And then you've got in Raya, there's no sign of a prince and a romance and somebody coming to rescue them.
Absolutely love it.
And she's running around and kicking ass and helping dragons. It's fantastic. And I feel like Disney are moving away from that binary. And I think that that is the future. Seeing that in magazines, seeing it in movies, seeing it on TV,
100%.
Going into a shop where there's no gender specific things. So kids just are allowed to express themselves and take from the cornucopia of clothes that are available and just be who they are without this expectation.
Rory has a t-shirt. It's like
just the one. Are you like rationing him?
T-shirt. Sorry?
Just the one. Are you rationing him? You're like,
one t-shirt a week, that's it. And that's
you're allowed one t-shirt, boy.
That's it. No, he's got this one t-shirt and it's a Frozen t-shirt. It's a girl's t-shirt. He loves it. And it's actually like a small female one, like an adult female one. So it's quite fitted, but it's like long on him, and he'll like wear it about the house, like just like that. And then other days and I think that's the thing. In your house, you have a safe space, right? You can wear what you want when you want. No one really cares in this house. Like, just be you. That's all I care about. Whereas I think when they go to school and everyone around them is dressed a particular way, I think not just Rory, but boys in general, not so much girls, but I think boys in general tend to then go, okay, so that's what everybody else is doing, so I better just do that too. And I'm hoping as life moves forward and people get more diverse and these movies become more apparently like they're not about the prince saving the princess, that things will change. And I think I see it already in little things like Rory and his buddies were in the other day and they were playing. I had put the porta-cot up and they were putting the Pokemons to bed and they were their dads. The three boys were dads and they were at home and they weren't going to work because they were looking at, and I'm like, bingo, that's it. That's the moment I'm looking for, So I think I very much roll with the punches. I believe that Rory chooses his path. I'm on the journey with him. So if he's going to do something, if Rory came into the room today and said, you know what, today I want to wear a dress, then I'm going to support that 100%. But that's his journey and I'm just following along. So I'm ready for whatever he's up for.
And the interesting thing about that is, of course, it will affect how the friendship groups roll out, because some people will find that really tricky, and other people will be fine with it, because obviously not everybody thinks as openly as we do. You do, and it's
I think, Emma, though, the people like you and I are in a community where we probably lost friendships over our chosen relationships. I know I did. So I think to a certain extent, maybe I feel like our community is much more ready to be diverse parents to maybe diverse children than other parents who maybe are not in a diverse relationship. And I've found that I'm very lucky. Rory goes to a very diverse school and he's got lots of other same-sex families, not just in the school, but in the year that he's in. So one of his best friends has got two mums.
Mm.
And it's just I was looking for a diverse program so that I knew that there would be children like Rory in his school. I wanted that for him. I wanted him to not feel alone. So I think, yeah, you and I probably think about it a lot differently sometimes. I feel, because I've had conversations with people and gone, "Oh, you're not getting it. You're not getting what I'm putting out here."
Yeah. No, it's interesting. There's a friend we've just moved to Corsica, and in the UK, there was a friend of mine whose son goes to a school where the kids were allowed to choose the uniform, and they had two choices: a girl choice and a boy choice, effectively. And the girl choice was a skirt and a blouse, and the boy choice was a pair of trousers and a shirt. And summer came around, and they said, "Well, why can't we wear shorts?" And it was like, "No, you either wear trousers and a top, or you wear a skirt and a blouse." So he went in a skirt and a blouse.
Excellent.
And he was a boy who went in a skirt and a blouse. And I'm
Brilliant.
like, absolutely fantastic, because that is just insane. Now, we're in France, there's no school uniform. And Christian is absolutely ecstatic about the fact there's no school uniform. Because actually, again, being a little bit on the spectrum, him wearing a school uniform and something that's tight-fitting doesn't work for him. It makes him very, very uncomfortable. So, we talk about the differences in terms of gender and not gender, in terms of our, preferences and sexual preferences and all those kind of things, and that's all big issue stuff. But there's a whole bunch of other stuff that's going on around people's ways of living and things that they are, living with and living through, that are also a major part of forming friendship groups, and how it all works, how we all work together. And it is. We have to be tolerant, and I don't like tolerant. I hate the word tolerant. It's a hideous word, because it implies you have to kind of force yourself to agree to something.
I'm not a fan of that word either.
Everything should be accepted. There should be nothing that is actually frowned upon in the sense that it doesn't negatively affect somebody else. So it shouldn't.
But friendships, by definition, is it not that a friendship is when you find someone that you have shared interests with? So really, it shouldn't be about who you are, but about what you bring to the table in a friendship.
Yeah,
that's what I think anyway.
And trust.
So
that's why our lesbian group, or what was it, lesbian community group, got changed recently. I changed it because I was like, this isn't a lesbian group. This isn't just for people that are lesbians. This is for anybody that's reading women loving women fiction.
Has an affinity, exactly.
Bi fiction, trans fiction, it can be anything. It doesn't need to be. So I think we have to step away from this whole model of if it's a book with two women in it, then it's lesbian fiction. That's what it is. It's not actually. There's a whole other diverse kind of element to it. And actually, talking of friendship, I got a message recently from one of the members of the group that we've got, saying that she's met so many friends through this, two of which are males that she would never have met otherwise, that like the same things as she likes. So I mean, yeah, friendships can come out of anything, really, can't they?
Knows no boundaries.
So I'm gonna have to interrupt, because we've burned through our time today.
Sorry.
Thank you. No worries. It's been really interesting. So thank you very much for joining us at the arse end o'clock of the morning in Australia, and for participating in our Chatterboard challenge. No problem. And maybe you can do that little video with Rory.
I'll send it to you.
That would be good fun, and maybe on the second season. That would be cool.
Awesome.
Brilliant.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.
All right. Cheers then.
Bye.
Woof. So it's actually 9 o'clock. Can you believe? I feel like we could talk for like at least another 2 hours on that subject, and all the different offshoots of
exactly.
That brings up.
Infiltrates everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But that is all we have time for. Thank you very much for watching and for listening, and for Vanchi, who joined us all the way from Slovenia, which is very cool. So welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. That's amazing. We like to know when there's people all over the world tuning into us. That is fabulous. So we will say goodbye, and with our little outro music, which we love so much. And we will see you next month towards the end of August with two amazing guests. Thank you very much. And good night from Nichols. She missed a cue.
Oh,
it's good night from Nichols.
and it's good night from Nix.
Ta-da!